Welcome, everybody. Happy National Girls and Women in Sports Day. Baylor Athletics is truly excited to host this special panel. We have plenty of very talented women that we could have chosen for this panel today, but we're super excited to be able to have all of your smiling faces here. A special thank you to everyone watching and joining us for this virtual lunch. We hope that you're able to take away a few things and celebrate National Girls and Women in Sports Day with us. I'm Brooke Bednarz. I'm an Associate Director for Baylor Vision, and we're going to kind of go down the line and just allow everyone to introduce themselves. Yasi, you want to go first? Take it away.
Hi, my name is Yassiana Presley. I play for the women's volleyball team here at Baylor, and I'm so excited to be a representative today and specially chosen. Sick'em Bears.
Sick'em Bears. Dawn?
I'm Dawn Rogers. I'm the Deputy Athletic Director here at Baylor. I've been here, I'm in my 4th year, and I was a Division III student athlete in volleyball and track back in the day.
Coach Mulkey?
Hi, I'm Felicia Mulkey. I am the head acrobatics and tumbling coach at Baylor. I'm in my 7th year. And
Sick'em. Corey?
Hello, everyone. I'm Corey Pinkett. I'm our Assistant Athletic Director for Character Formation. Been at Baylor about 2.5 years. I was not a college athlete, so I get to live vicariously through Yasi and Jen and our other student athletes that I work with on a day-to-day basis. But I am a retired basketball player. So if you're into basketball, I'm your girl.
I was not a college athlete either, so living vicariously. And last but certainly not least, Jen.
Hi, I'm Jennifer Want, and I'm a senior on the Baylor women's soccer team, and I can't wait to talk to you all.
So before we kind of dive into the discussion, we wanted to play a little bit of a fun game so you guys could get to know us better, so we could get to know each other a little bit better. And we decided to call it Home Run or Hard Pass. So we all have these cards, and we're going to kind of go through different 4 different rounds, 4 different sets of things. And we're going to kind of get to know each other just a little bit better. So home run or hard pass. The first round is social media. So we're going to see everyone has their phones. Some of us have 2 work phones, you know, the whole 9 yards. So first up is Instagram. Home run or hard pass? For me, that's a home run.
All day.
Jen, why are you a hard pass?
I don't know. I just like other social media outlets better. So if we're going to compare them, I like other ones better.
All right. Well, let's see if we can figure out which one you like better. How about Facebook? Okay. Oh, Dawn, just you and me. Just
It's
you and me.
I think it's a little generational. So my generation, that was definitely, and you're just an old soul, Brooke. So
I will say my grandma's on Facebook, and that's where she likes to see my stuff. So
there you go.
You know, spreading the love. How about Twitter? We're in athletics. Oh, hard pass. I feel like all sports are on Twitter. Okay, Jen, we got a home run out of you. There we go. All right. And how about TikTok? I'm kind of in the middle. I'm both. I do not have a TikTok account, but I do watch. So, Yasi, do our 2 athletes have TikTok accounts?
Yes.
Oh.
I like have an account, but I don't actively participate on it. I just watch.
Okay.
So you haven't posted anything is what I'm hearing you say, Jen.
I posted one on my dog, but other than that, none.
Dog's a good solid start. All right. Second round, food. Different types of food. So, pasta.
I'm just going to do this the whole time.
The whole time? All good foods?
The whole time, yeah.
Pasta?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Carb up before a big game, right? All right. Veggies.
Depends.
Yeah. I'm like, I eat them because I should, but they're not my favorite.
That's more of a got to than a get to.
Yeah. Yeah. All right. Chocolate? Absolutely. Are y'all vanilla? Corey and Dawn, are y'all vanilla people? No sweets at all?
No, I just don't like chocolate. I would rather have like chips and salsa.
Okay.
Well, I actually love sweets. I just don't like chocolate. So it's very strange. I know.
Earth-shattering. No, just kidding. And last, seafood.
Oh, for sure.
Sometimes that's a hit or miss. Oh, Coach Mulkey with the hard
don't love
pass.
I mean, there's some I'll eat, but I just don't love it.
Yeah. All right. This one, we're taking girls, women in sports day. You know, we had to do this. Sports is our next section. Practice. We're going to go practice, weight room, film, and compete. So I want you to think about that because I want the honest answers.
Okay.
So who enjoys practicing? Okay, good answers. Good answers.
I was like, my coach is gonna watch this.
Yeah.
Home run.
Weight room. I like lifting weights. I need to get better at it, but you know.
Yes.
I hate it.
No weights?
Hate it.
Oh, that was one of my favorite things.
But when I get I hate starting, but when I get going, like I'm good.
Gotcha.
Mhm.
But I hate starting.
I like the honesty. Watching film.
For sure. Oh, Jennifer.
Jen, hard pass. Why is that?
I like watching it like on my own if I want to, but I don't always like going to film sessions before practice. Kind of,
Yeah.
just a bit. Sorry, coaches. But whatever.
And finally, competing.
All day.
I like competing. I like
that
watching y'all
agree.
compete. All of the above.
Mm-hmm.
All right. To wrap up this game, final round is our hobbies. So, who's real big into reading? I'm a hard pass.
Hard.
I like Audible books. That's how I get my reading. So I can read while doing other things. Watching TV.
Yeah.
Dawn and I are like, yes.
Yeah, there's some stuff on Netflix right now that is just purely entertaining. It's
Yes.
just hilarious.
I am guilty of binge watching TV. I will admit. How about cooking?
Like to cook. I just wish I was good at it. But
Yeah.
the process of cooking, like clean kitchen, cooking, back to clean kitchen, there's something therapeutic about that. I don't know the product that comes out. I can't speak to that, but the process is fun.
I like that.
Absolutely.
I
Mhm.
just am
You make
guilty
it
of
with
wanting to eat right now. Like when I'm hungry, I'm like, oh, I mean, I can make this and it'll take 30 minutes, or they could make it.
Yeah.
All right. And the last one, I feel like we'll all agree on, but who knows? I've been shocked already, but sleep.
Oh.
Kind of like,
Half and half, Dawn?
yeah, like sometimes it's annoying. I just
Yeah.
would like to stay up.
True. Get
To watch more Netflix.
get the
Right. She's in the middle of a good show, and it's like, gotta stay up.
Yep.
Exactly.
Absolutely.
Sure.
Well, that was a fun game. Thank you all for being honest. Maybe we can, distract your coaches to not see the ones that you guys were super honest about. But hopefully you guys got to get to know us a little bit better. I know we got to get to know each other a little bit better and just kind of kick this off with some fun. But now I'm actually looking forward to this part the most. And it's to kind of dive in a little bit deeper, to have these conversations and just to kind of celebrate National Girls and Women in Sports Day here with Baylor Athletics and all the unique roles that the six of us have. So I would like to start with Dawn. If you can remind everybody what your position is and just kind of give a brief overview of what it is that you do day to day. Is kind of difficult because your job changes all the time, but a brief overview.
And that's what I love about my job is it is a little bit different every day, but I'm the deputy athletic director and I have the opportunity to work with all of our sports in different capacities because I represent Baylor in the Big 12. And so I get to interact with our coaches all, and I really enjoy that. I'm the sport administrator for women's golf and men's basketball. I really work on the student athlete side of the house. So with the leadership of our Student Athlete Center for Excellence and our health and wellness teams, I also get to handle all of our policies and making sure that we follow them, especially on the Title IX side, doing the education, and then also do some of our strategic planning and initiatives.
What would you say is, if you had to pick, this is going to be very difficult, but if you had to pick one of the favorite aspects of your job?
I think, everyone on this, all the administrators, I think we all feel the same, that we walk in the door every day for our student athletes. And so the best part of my day is getting to leave the office and, walk through SACE, walk through health and wellness, get to see our student athletes. I love going to practice. To me, that is just the part of the day where you can really enjoy watching, watching our teams. I think our student athletes are so talented. I'm inspired by watching you all, what you do. And so to get to go to practice and watch you perfecting your craft, getting to watch that interaction, really getting to watch our student athletes grow as people from when they come in the door to when they leave is the part that it's just exceptional. I've watched it in my kids and seen what athletics has done for them and their college experience. And it's really fun when you've been at a school long enough that you can watch the freshmen come in and then see their journey and then have them come back and visit. And I don't get to do it hands-on like Coach Fee does, but it's really fun for me to go to practice and watch from afar.
You've had quite the career. I know that Corey and I have been able to talk with you about it, but for everyone who doesn't know, do you mind kind of sharing your journey as you've grown into the position that you are today, where you're on the executive team for Baylor Athletics?
Absolutely. And that when you started that, Brooke, I thought that was kind of a buzzword for Dawn. You're really old. And you've had a lot of great opportunities.
Really
but
wise.
Really not.
I'm really wise. I'm really wise. But I have been so fortunate because I've been at a number of different institutions and became an administrator at a really young age, out of contacts and just really getting a lucky break. And so I started in the Midwest, and then I went to Xavier University, and I had the, incredible opportunity to become the athletic director there, and such a special institution, and then moved on, decided to go to Arizona State, and I was a senior associate athletic director there. And I was there for 9 years, and then this incredible opportunity came along for me to run the 2017 Phoenix Final Four. And so I had been involved in the bid process. And ironically, when I was first deciding what I wanted to do in athletics, I considered doing event management, but was drawn to college athletics. So for me, this was the blend of the best of both worlds, to get to work with the NCAA and our Phoenix local organizing committee. And so I ran the 2017 Phoenix Final Four. But really, when that was done and it was time to decide what we were going to do next, was drawn right back to college, because what did I miss the most? I missed working with our student athletes, and I missed working with our coaches. And so it was a great opportunity for me to get to do that, but then came right back to and was had a call about this job at Baylor. And as we were going down the list, it was absolutely everything that I was looking for, and really feel so honored and privileged, to be here now for 4 years working with our teams and our coaches.
That's awesome, Dawn.
Yeah. Corey, did you have anything? Oh, I was going to say, did you have any doubt that sports is what you wanted to work in when you were growing up?
Well, I grew up on a farm, and so I wanted to be a veterinarian. And I started in college to be a veterinarian, and I really started competing late. I showed horses when I was younger, and then I didn't, even play volleyball till I was a junior in high school. As a matter of fact, I got cut from the team because I was a junior in high school. Who is on JV as a junior? I wasn't talented enough to play varsity, and thankfully talked the coach into giving me an opportunity. But it was really through my love of athletics. And, in the 80s, I didn't even know what that meant. I didn't know what sport management was. I didn't know what careers existed. And so fortunately, I was walking down the hall one day and saw a sign about a master's in sport management, and I was drawn to it, and then really explored Corey, I love the internships and the opportunities we get for our student athletes to explore, because I did a couple things that it didn't turn out I enjoyed, and I was drawn to college. I had, athletics really shaped me as a student athlete. I loved the athletic director at Ithaca College. He was a mentor to me. It was a great opportunity. I worked part-time in different areas in the department. And so I was just really drawn to be able to provide the same experience, to student athletes that I had been provided what athletics gave to me. So it didn't start out that way, but certainly in college, I was drawn to it.
I think it's interesting as I sit and listen to your journey, Dawn, and you mentioning the fact that because of your journey, you were late into sports and you kind of fell into it is the way I heard it, right? You saw the sign, you fell into it in a way. And now we see young girls playing sports I started when I was 4. So playing sports from really early ages, and we've seen things change for the better, in my opinion. And would love to hear your thoughts, and maybe even yours, Coach Fee, even though we haven't gotten to you yet, but would love to hear y'all's thoughts on just the progression of opportunities for young women in sports. And it's cool that we have so many different perspectives represented in this conversation, but would love to hear from y'all just about that and what you've seen and the direction that we're going in around that.
Well, the journey has been incredible. I graduated from high school in 1982, and there was such a small number of women's sports that were offered. And then moving into college, and you have to understand, you didn't have the internet, you didn't have the ability to search and do things, and you didn't really have the role models that I see for my daughter, and looking around at the athletes and the coaches and the inspiration that we're able to look at. I go back to, I'm inspired every day watching our student athletes. And I think it's been a fun journey to watch. When I competed in, as a Division III student athlete, we weren't even part of the NCAA. And so as women's athletics have grown, and we've demanded more opportunities, and I'm so excited, for Fee to talk about a sport that she was part of creating and the opportunities it provides, for young women. My daughter played club volleyball, and one of the things that I loved is we would go into gyms every Saturday and just be surrounded by, young girls, all sizes, all heights, all different athletic abilities. And, that's so inspiring to me to see a young person spend their time that way, because I think it forms you. I think you deal with adversity and you find out who you are, and you learn how to work with people that you wouldn't normally be friends with. And so I've really enjoyed that part of college athletics growing for women and giving them the same opportunities. But I'm also excited at what we've done for coaches, assistant coaches, really working hard to provide more of those opportunities for women, because that's where the industry has kind of changed over time, in that women's athletics used to be run by women. And then we went through this period where women's athletics was run by men. And then we brought, as we brought the two departments together, I think the NCAA has done some great things to empower women to be in leadership roles, for us to mentor each other, pull each other up. And I think that's one thing that's really important to us at Baylor, is that our student athletes should see different people in leadership roles that look like them, that inspire them we need more student athletes as administrators. We need more coaches as administrators. We need more women to become coaches, because I think that's really special when you have a diversity, even on a coaching staff. I love that more women are coaching on men's teams, and that we all see the value of different perspectives that it brings. But it has really been wonderful to watch the evolution of women's sports and everything that it does, because at the end of the day, I really think it empowers you, no matter how talented you are. And that's why I talk about being a Division III student athlete, because I was not talented, but I loved how empowered I felt as an average student athlete that could go out there and work hard. And that's why I gave a big home run to practice, because man, I was amazing at practice, y'all. Like every day I was amazing. But I love to be able to just get to go to practice every day and work hard at my craft. So it's been fun to watch the evolution. And, Coach Fee, again, you're part of that evolution of what you've done to empower women and to create a sport that empowers, young women. And I love, that's one of the things that I love about what you do here at Baylor.
Well, I think that is the perfect transition to you, Coach.
Well, first, I'd like to take the elephant out of the room and talk about my lighting that Brooke worked so hard on at the beginning. I'm at the mercy of these 12-foot windows here in Mars McLean, and I got nothing. This is it. So this isn't meant to be like sun shining on my face, enlightening me. It just is, and there's nothing I can do about it. So
natural glow.
We have to just put it out there, or else people are going to be like, "What's wrong with her? Why doesn't she have a ring light?" And so this is Mars McLean lighting, ladies and gentlemen.
It's your glow, and it's beautiful.
It's glow, heavenly glow.
That's what I feel like, and it's not intentional. So people, this is not a ring light. This is Mars McLean and the tree outside. Look at that. This is nice. It's going to continually change too. So just keep watching.
Well, Coach,
go ahead.
tell us a little bit about, we've kind of talked about it a little bit. Dawn's hinted at it, but you truly pioneered a sport. Trailblazer, whatever word you want to use or are comfortable, with, I'm good with, because it's truly remarkable to see what you've done for women's athletics and opening a door that truly did not exist a few years ago. So it would be an honor if you could kind of explain for everyone listening and for those even here on the panel who don't necessarily know everything there is to know about acrobatics and tumbling, how you played a role in that and then how it came to be.
This is not safe to ask me this question because I can go on for days. So I'll try to keep it brief, but thank you. And it is my passion. I'm so excited. First of all, honored to be here and be asked to speak on this. Acrobatics and tumbling is a sport that was created for women by women. And that is, I think we're the only sport that can say that. We created it. It was not me. It was a village of amazingly strong women. And I continue to build that village. And Dawn helps build the sport daily. Corey helps me build the sport daily. Everybody plays their part. And that's been really fun too, to kind of build our village as we go along. But about 12 years ago, there was a group of college administrators and coaches who got together and said, there is a need at the collegiate level that's not being met. There are these tens of thousands, actually millions of young women training in a skill set, and they don't have a place at the collegiate level. So we created a sport at the collegiate level. It's the first sport outside of football to be created specifically for the college level, and now it's trickling down into the youth levels. It's the evolution of different disciplines of gymnastics. And if you're not really familiar with gymnastics, people think Olympics when they think gymnastics, or collegiate gymnastics, which is really popular. It's so much more to gymnastics. There's so many different levels from all the way down. So there's this amazing, just this huge group of women that are training in it that you don't see at that Olympic level, and you don't see at the collegiate gymnastics level. And then there's also competitive cheer. The athletic aspects of cheerleading are tumbling and acrobatics. And there's all of these women who would like to be a part of a team on a campus and not be on the sideline. Because I think cheerleading is a great opportunity too. Our Spirit and Tradition program here at Baylor is second to none and are probably busier than all of us, quite honestly. I mean, they're everywhere. Have you ever been somewhere there's not one of our Spirit and Tradition people, young athletes out there, one of our coaches? So but there's a group of women, there's millions of them that wanted this opportunity. So we started with 6 schools across the country. Baylor was one of those first 6 schools. I was not at Baylor at the time, but the vision was here and the desire was here. And we were one of the first 6, and we're now at 36 schools across the country in 12 years. And I just had a meeting yesterday with some more schools that are going to add. So to kind of give you a little idea what that looks like, for 12 years, we worked to become an NCAA sport. And so the schools that added our sport added it as a true varsity sport on their campus, not a club team. And there were these change agents, right, at these schools that thought, this is different, but I believe in this and I'm going to do it. And we managed over 12 years, Baylor leading the charge in many ways as one of the first schools to go out and find these change agent athletic directors that said, I want to do this for women. I think this is a great opportunity, even before the NCAA recognized it. And last year, January of 2020, we were voted in as an emerging sport in divisions 2 and 3. So that made us NCAA, in those 2 divisions. And then in June, we were voted in division 1. And as of August the 1st, 2020, acrobatics and tumbling, I'm going to get emotional, is an emerging sport. Stop it, Felicia. Jeez Louise. You guys, it's so exciting. This has been like my life's work, like 12 years of this. And it's so cool to watch, going back to what Dawn said about just watching the evolution. And I mean, what we're doing in college athletics changes lives, and it changes lives for the men that are part of it too. But how cool to watch it change these young women's lives. They're being exposed to things and that they were not exposed to before. And they're learning skills that they were not, thanks to our character formation department, right? Like that they're not learning for. And it's so fun for me to watch them come in and be exposed just to different people on their team too, and learn and listen. Those are life-changing opportunities aside from everything that is being a Baylor student athlete, which is, think of all the amazing perks, you guys, that you get as Baylor student athletes. There's this piece of life-changing, part of it. And if you think about this, I talked to the softball team a few years ago, and I asked the softball team here at Baylor, how old were you when you decided you wanted to be a softball player in college? And they're like 7, 8, no one said when I was a junior in college. And I explained when the women on my team were 7 and 8, our sport didn't exist. So what's been really cool to watch is the 7 and 8-year-olds start going, I want to be an acrobatics and tumbling athlete when I get into college. And fun story, yesterday at the end of practice, one of my student athletes, we were doing our positives negative session, and she raised her hand and said, I just have a fun story. I was contacted by a 4th grader who is doing a report on acrobatics and tumbling. So I'm going to be interviewed by her. And I thought, that's
Wow.
eye-opening, right? Because just a few years ago, it wasn't there. So anyway, I could go on for days, but it has been an honor and a pleasure. And we're still in the middle, like we're making history. These young women on my team, they're pioneers. They took the road less traveled, and they know they're a part of history. I was really proud. Corey was on the other day, and 2 of our student athletes spoke to over 200 athletic directors across the country about their experience as a student athlete with acrobatics and tumbling and at Baylor. And those athletic directors are looking to add the sport. So another milestone to watch for you guys is we're at 34 NCAA schools and 2 NAIA schools. When we reach the number 40 of NCAA schools, we will then have the opportunity to be a championship sport. So we will then be with volleyball and soccer. And so we're at 34, and I'm ambitious, but man, we're going to be at 40 by next June if I have anything to say about it. So it's going to be I will look forward to celebrating with all of you at that moment, because that's a win for everyone, not just for acrobatics and tumbling.
That is fantastic. Thanks for sharing all of that. And it's a big roster of women. This is an opportunity. Your squad is pretty large. How many girls are on that team?
I currently have 47 athletes on my team, and next
47 opportunities. 47 opportunities that weren't there 12 years ago.
Exactly. And next year we'll be right at 50. And then all of these new schools that I'm talking to, because I also serve as the expansion director for the NCATA. So I'm like annoying all the athletic directors in the country about adding. But think about that too. Every school that adds, that's 45 to 50 opportunities that were not there last year. So yeah. Oh, and I do want to say this because Dawn made me think of it. As far as coaching, currently 98% of our coaches in the acrobatics and tumbling are female.
Huge.
75% of our current coaches are former acrobatics and tumbling student athletes. So I think that's cool to show that we're not only creating competitive opportunities, but also career opportunities for these young women.
Well, and correct me if I'm wrong, but your first match is against UMHB this year, which was that program was started by one of your former athletes here at Baylor, correct?
Yes. Courtney Pate, who is now just married. So Courtney Pate Oates is the head coach there. And actually her grad assistant is Elise Manning, who is a Baylor Bear from last year. So yeah, our Baylor Bear tree goes out pretty far.
Look at that. Going
That's
out
beautiful.
and like Dawn said, they're, setting the world on fire and expanding the sport from learning it right here. So kudos to you, Coach Mulkey. That is absolutely fantastic. Corey, I think it's now time we should turn the direction to our 2 lovely student athletes here.
Couldn't agree more.
Who wants to go first? Who's feeling up to it? Yossi or Jen? Jen, I love the enthusiasm.
But yeah, I can go first.
So tell us a little, obviously your soccer, you announced that you're going to come back next season, and we're super excited to hear about that. So very exciting. But tell us a little bit about your background, how you got into the sport of soccer, and, did you ever see yourself being the goalie for Baylor soccer when you were growing up?
Yeah, so basically kind of like a lot of stories, I was playing soccer growing up my entire life since I was 4. I have an older sister who's 4 years older, and she was put into soccer because the neighborhood kids were playing it. And then we both ended up playing in college, which was pretty cool. But basically, like from little on, I knew that I just kind of wanted to be like my older sister and I wanted to play in college. And then when I got into high school, I decided to switch I played on the field and I decided to switch to goalie. So that was really when I started having like the dreams and aspirations of playing like goalie in college instead of just on the field. And then it was my sophomore year when I committed to Baylor. And just from then on, I just really wanted to work super hard to give myself an opportunity. And luckily enough, my freshman year, I was blessed with that opportunity and I've just kind of ran with it since. Now I'm a senior and next year I'll be a 5th year coming back because we're given an extra year, which is a super awesome opportunity to not only play soccer here, but get a master's. So I'm very excited for that as well.
Did you have any role models that kind of, sparked an interest for you to where you thought, I could take this sport that I love and actually turn it into an opportunity to further my education?
Yeah, I'm going to go back to my sister. She had her heart set on playing college soccer and she wanted to be a nurse. So she did both of those. And I got to see her work hard, not only in soccer, but in school through her 4 years. So she was really my biggest role model in knowing that I can be a collegiate athlete and succeed in school as well. So I would say my sister.
Have you
Jen,
had,
go ahead.
Corey.
Oh, thanks, Brooke. Jen, for the young women, girls that are watching that now see you and see Yasi and see our other student athletes that are doing amazing things, can you talk a little bit about what life as a college student athlete looks like, right? You talked about the different things you're balancing, the opportunities you've had athletically, now coming back for a 5th year, being able to get your master's. But for those that may not really understand college sports, but know they love soccer or know they love volleyball or basketball, or now acrobatics and tumbling because they've been exposed to that, can you help paint the picture of what life as a student athlete looks like for them?
Yeah, it's kind of weird because growing up, like we'd go be ball girls for different local colleges and stuff. And I would just get so excited to get to meet any of them or even give them a high five. And now like being one of those players, I just feel like we're such like normal people. And the fact to know that like people get excited like to see us is just kind of crazy and it like really like heartwarming. But really just like we get up, we go to practice, we go to school, and the best part about it is you're just with your best friends usually in school, and then you get to go see them in soccer too. And that's my favorite part of it, just being surrounded by a group of girls who I can all call my best friends, and I can also just walk down the street and go hang out with. So that's been the best part about it. But yeah, besides just kind of adding a couple hours a day to put into soccer and studying and stuff, we're just kind of like normal students who just really get to live out our dream. And it's really cool. And I can't wait for more and more students and more sports to get to experience that as well.
I have a specific goalie question for you.
Okay.
Dawn kind of mentioned it earlier, but just seeing, women kind of embark in new roles, whether, it's, I think the Super Bowl is about to happen and there's going to be the first female referee for the Super Bowl. There's been some female on male team coaching staffs in the professional divisions. But a girl playing your exact position, college goalkeeper for Vanderbilt, Sarah Fuller, just was a place kicker, filled in as a place kicker for her football team. I want to hear from you what it was like to see something like that happen. What were your thoughts on that?
Yeah, I mean, as soon as I saw that, I was just like so excited for her to get to fulfill that opportunity and to get to show that women all around the country can do things like that. Obviously, in football, sometimes it's a contact sport, but that doesn't mean you can't be involved, whether it's being a kicker or a placeholder or a coach or anything. So it was just really cool to get to see her do that. And then knowing she's actually coming back she's going to play UNT next year. So who knows? We live in Texas, so we may play her too. But yeah, it was really cool to get to see her fulfill probably a lifelong dream for herself and of many other little girls out there.
Corey, do you have anything else? Good, Dawn?
Well, I was going to mention, kind of going on that same theme that a couple games ago in men's basketball, I was courtside getting ready, and I look out and we have a female official on the court, and I'm like, wait, what's going on? And I asked, David Kay, I said, have we ever had a female officiate a men's game? And he said, no, this is the first time at Baylor. She's the second woman that does it in the league. And what I loved about it was there was no fanfare. She's a great official. I reached out to our basketball, person at the conference, and I said, hey, we have, and I can't remember her name, I wish I could, here officiating tonight. Is she one of our regulars? And he's like, yeah, she's all up and down the league. She is a full-fledged official in our league. And I just loved that it wasn't a big deal. And our coaches, she was just an official on the court. She was fantastic. And that's what I love to see us kind of evolving to, is that we have, different women in different roles, and it just becomes the norm. I thought that was really wonderful. What was really wonderful about what happened at Vanderbilt was that they came to her and asked her to come be part of the football program when they had a need. And I thought that was really unique as well.
I love that. Being professional and doing the job to where, if no one had even pointed it out, people maybe wouldn't have even noticed.
Mm-hmm.
Anything else for Jen before we turn the attention to Miss Yassiana Presley? Yassi, it is your turn, ma'am. Thanks for joining the panel and being here with us. But I kind of, like we did with Jen, I kind of want to hear from you, your journey in volleyball, when you started, and if you saw yourself one day being a collegiate athlete.
Funny story. So I started a little bit later than you all, which was around like 12. And my first volleyball game ever was YMCA volleyball on a Wednesday. And I remember doing the most ridiculous move ever. And now that I look at it, I cringe. And I scored a point and I was like, yeah. And volleyball to me just brings me so much joy because I don't think about anything else. And it's just fun for me. And I started club around probably like 8 to 9 months after that. And my parents were going through a divorce, and I tried other sports, wasn't working out. I kept thinking about my parents, and then I went back to volleyball, and I was so terrible, but it took my mind away from, things that I was experiencing at home and hardships at school, like with other people, because I was literally like this big around, I'm still that big. And it was just fun and I enjoyed it. And I loved the ball hitting my shoulder. I was like, I don't even know if I'm supposed to do that, but it's just great. And ever since then, I've always had a passion for it. And I've always wanted to get better because basketball did not work at all. I commend you, Corey, because I could never. Yeah. And all that contact is just not for me. And 14's year, like a light bulb just clicked on. I was like, oh, like I'm actually good. I can, continuously do this. And I never had heard of Baylor before. And it was my first offer. And Baylor has always had, a special place in my heart because they saw the potential in me when I couldn't. And I don't know, it was just so great to see that. And like Jen, I committed my sophomore year. And ever since then, it's just been, such an amazing experience. I visited here like 5 or 6 times before I, came here. And I don't know, I just get so happy when I think about Baylor and my volleyball journey because it was a rough road, but it was definitely worth it.
You mentioned starting at 12. Did you play any other sports before that, or did you try your hand in any other sports?
Okay, this is why I have beef with basketball.
Uh-oh.
Okay, I tried.
Yeah, let's hear this.
I tried and I fell and fractured my arm, and I was like, I'm never touching a basketball again.
The beef is understandable. I would do the same thing. I understand.
And it just didn't work out. And I was like, I don't like being touched. So what's the solution?
Stay on your side of
Soccer.
the net.
Yeah, soccer. I was like, no offense, Jen. I don't like running. So
Same.
volleyball was perfect.
Yeah.
And I'm pretty good at it, I think.
Yeah.
So
Oh, yeah.
Jen, I love that you said same to Yasi. Like, I feel the same way. That's why I'm in the goal.
dude. Yeah, you're smart because you went right to goalie.
That's fantastic.
Jen, did you play any other sports before you decided soccer?
I did. I played basketball, all through high school until I came here.
Do you see a benefit? We're kind of bouncing back and forth now with the athletes, but do you see a benefit, Jen, of being able to play a wide variety of sports and, picking this up from this sport and learning this and that and just trying a hand at everything before committing? Because right now there's a lot of young ladies who are going to be, listening to our panel. And right now they're probably playing lots of sports and they might be being told, you kind of need to narrow it down and just choose one, focus on one. But do you see a value in the opportunity to play a lot of different sports and not necessarily having to narrow it down until you get to college?
Yeah, for sure I do, especially with goalkeeper and basketball. They really went hand in hand and it was really good cross training. But I do, just because sometimes you get so caught up in the sport, you think you're going to go play in college. It just was, basketball for me was just a very nice stress reliever and I just got to go and have fun with it. And obviously I had fun with soccer too, but I knew that with basketball, there was just no strings attached and I just got to go play and have fun. So yeah, I definitely see the benefit with that. And also I live in Wisconsin, so soccer in the winter is only indoors. So basketball just kind of gave me a nice area to get to go work out in as well.
Stay warm up there.
Yeah, I'm not trying to be playing soccer in that one, Wisconsin cold. No, thank you.
Hate running and you can't breathe? No, absolutely not.
Not a good combination. Just not
No.
a good combination. I'm curious about what you both have learned through sport. I know for me, being an athlete, track and basketball, I stopped track because I wasn't fast and I didn't like running, but then you still run in basketball. So I don't know that logic makes as much sense, but
You're running after a ball.
right. I'm doing other things. It just felt a little bit different, but I'm curious about how sport has impacted you. So you're still playing your sports, you're college athletes. Both of you started sports before you got to college. And I'm just curious about what the impact of sport has been on your lives. And I would love to start with Yasi and then get your thoughts, Jen.
Yeah, so sports has definitely helped me with two key things, discipline and commitment, because for me, I'm a firm believer in not quitting in something that I'm passionate about. And discipline wise, like waking up early, make sure you eat the right things, sleep schedule, time management, like all that. And it was definitely something that was hard in the beginning, but it got easier whenever I got to college, after my freshman year, because freshman year is just, tough for everybody. And just being able to, balance and everything, it's taught me so much. And I'm so grateful for the opportunity that I have here at Baylor, because without that, I feel like, other areas of my life would be impacted in a negative way. And with volleyball, it kind of centers me and keeps me whole and has, me on a short leash, because, you don't really get to do too much, but, you still get to enjoy life and go back to that discipline and commitment, and it affects other areas. So I'm definitely grateful for that and happy that I learned that very early.
Yeah, thanks, Yasi. What about you, Jen?
Along with all of the things Yasi said, it kind of just helped me learn to want to be not just a leader, but a servant leader, and just helping me work for my teammates, and whether it's fitness or picking up the balls or anything in between, it just has made me, no matter what my age was, want to work for them and help them. And it just brings me such happiness to also do that. And that's something I didn't always have through high school. I'd like to say I was a good person, but I wasn't always the best servant leader. So definitely learning that through my years of collegiate soccer, I think that will help me in any aspect of life, because it just brings such great tools. So I'm very excited that I was able to learn that and continue to grow in that, because it doesn't always come easy. Like, you don't always want to go make that extra dive in practice or go help the freshmen pick up the balls, but you do it because they're your teammates and you want to help them because you want that help in return as well.
Yeah, I appreciate both of y'all sharing. Oh, go ahead, Yasi.
I was gonna say, I felt that extra dive though. Yeah, that definitely hit me. But that's something that I learned too. And it didn't come as easy as it, did possibly for you, because I was a very selfish player my freshman and sophomore year. And I was always like, why do I have, to do so much? Like, why isn't he getting on that player as much as he's getting on to me? And I took it personal. And I was like, you know what? Like, he's doing this to me, so I can do it to somebody else if I see that he's not, doing that to, say, I'm just say your name, Jennifer. And being a servant leader is definitely a key piece in, just helping others out and helping yourself, because I would get caught up in myself doing bad and I'm like, oh my gosh, like I'm the worst player ever. And I'm like, getting emotional and everything. And I'm like, you know what? Stop being in my head, stop focusing on myself, and I'm going to help Jen out. Hey, like, make sure you angle your platform. And then like your level of play increases. And I feel like that goes into other areas of life. If you see someone else struggling just as much as you, pour into that person and help them out, and, give them the advice that you want to give yourself, but not really, because, you're kind of like, I know I need to do that, but it's kind of hard sometimes. So definitely that piece with being a servant leader is such a key thing. And I'm happy you said that.
From both of you, it sounds like sports have really, helped you develop your character even more so in your time here. And that is a perfect segue into Miss Corey Pinkett and what she does for Baylor Athletics. So before we dive into her, though, I do want to hear from both of you on how programs and things that Corey has implemented in the athletic department, how has that helped you guys out? Jen, we can start with you this time.
For me, it really has helped me out in everything in life. And that is probably the biggest aspect outside of soccer that has helped me grow. Whether it's going from just being in SAC to being on the exec board and taking on a bigger role, or just all of the little character formation, seminars we have, obviously we're all busy and sometimes we don't want to go, but I always leave them feeling that I just have learned so much. And so that part of Baylor Athletics has helped me so much. And I know that it doesn't always happen at other schools. So that makes me extra grateful that I'm here at Baylor at this wonderful university. So yeah, that's how I feel about it.
Yasi?
I definitely appreciate it, because that's one thing that helped me become a servant leader and, mature in every aspect of my life. I was part of the Leadership Institute in 2018 spring semester, I believe. Was it 2018 or 2019? I think it was 2018.
Spring 2019. Mm-hmm.
Oh, 2019. Okay, yeah. I was part of that, and it was so amazing because there were some things that, were hard to see, and, self-reflect on. But when other people point it out and you hear different perspectives, it's like, oh, okay, like I need to act this way to, everyone. I can't just, be all, hyping in someone else's face, because people don't respond to that the same. And just like character formation and everything, I'm looking forward to this financial literacy coming up on the 11th of February. Be there. I'm excited for it, because it's another opportunity to help with the adult life. And that's what people don't realize. We're only here for 4 years, and it's how you spend those 4 years. And I'm very happy and blessed that, these opportunities are presented with character formation, and Corey is doing the dang thing. And I'm just so excited to just see what else happens and other events that come forth.
So Corey, I want to turn it over to you now. And I want to hear, if you can kind of, like Dawn did, a brief overview of what you do for all of our athletes. And then I want to hear your why. You said you were kind of, impacted by all the athletes around us. You and I weren't college athletes ourselves, but what is your why? Why do you do what you do?
Would love to share that. And similar to Coach Fee, I get really excited as I talk about this. So I'm going to do my best to be succinct and to still capture what we do, but to tell it in a short and not so drawn out way. I have the great privilege here at Baylor to provide programming and resources to our student athletes that not only help them be great during their 4 to 5 years here, but helps prepare them for the next 40. And I take great passion in being able to wake up every day and fulfill that. And what we do is we have a team of people, and Baylor is very special in that way. It's one of the reasons why I'm here. We have a team of people that are dedicated to providing workshops, programs, experiences, and opportunities to our students to help them develop in the areas of career development, leadership development, personal skills, social responsibility, and community engagement. And for us, it's all about holistically developing our students. We want our young men and our young women to enter our university. We want to help them with that transition in, and then we want to help them grow and walk alongside them. So if you come in and you don't really know what you want to do, we can help with that. If you come in and you're really good athletically and your coach wants you to develop as a leader, we can help with that. If you come in and you're like, I want to be a doctor and I'm interested in medical school and I need to figure out how to figure out these applications that I don't really know what it's asking me about, or I don't know what to do, we're able to help you through that. If you come in and you just need to feel family, pre-COVID, we could help with that, like we are here. We love to provide a support system for our students. And for me, that's what it's about. It's about family. Brooke, you asked me what my why was and why I do what I do. Part of that is I truly believe that God has placed me here to develop people and empower them to reach their potential. And I get to do that every day in the work that I do with our student athletes. But then beyond that, I didn't really see examples of what I wanted to do. I knew I wanted to do something in sports. I told y'all I retired from basketball early. So I played basketball from 3rd grade until 12th. We won state my senior year. I felt like I was going out on top. Let's just end there and let's explore other things because I'm not talented enough to be a Jen or a Yasi. And I didn't know what to do. I didn't know that I could work in administration. I thought that the only opportunities in sport were actually playing the sport or coaching it. And I knew that those wouldn't be my avenues. And it wasn't until I got to college that I began to be exposed to different opportunities in sport. But a lot of them were men. A lot of people talking to us were men. A lot of the leaders in the athletic department where I was working were men. And I didn't see myself represented. But I knew that I wanted to work in sport. So as I've grown in my journey and as I've worked in sport for the last 8 or so years, my why has morphed into being that role model and being the person that can show other young people, other young girls and just people of color and other underrepresented populations, helping people see someone that they can relate to that helps affirm in them that they can too explore this opportunity. That's important to me. And then helping create opportunities is the other part of my why that's important to me. Create opportunities for our student athletes, create opportunities within the athletic department, be a bridge that helps create opportunities for other people. I want to be a person that helps. And I'm blessed to be in a position at Baylor where the job that I'm getting paid for perfectly meshes with that. And then opportunities like this and others allow me to do and live out my why in other ways. So that's my brief version of it. I tried my best to make it short because I get really excited and I can just talk so much about it because hearing Jen and Yasi talk about their experiences and what they've learned. They're both seniors. They've had a phenomenal journey here. That has fueled the fire. Hearing Coach Fee talk about the opportunities that are available because of the acrobatics and tumbling sport catching fire with other schools, that fuels the fire. I mean, Brooke, your story, that story fuels my fire. It's all about just creating opportunities for awesome women and then others from underrepresented populations to come in here and be bosses and to get it done. And that's what it's all about. So I'll stop there.
I love
I was slow clapping, if you guys did, so I don't know, but that was a slow clap. Loved it.
love that.
Loved it.
Well, and
And you
Dawn,
know, I love that you talk about the power. And that's, I think, one thing that I've really appreciated about Baylor, working in so many athletic departments where I was the only woman.
Mm-hmm.
And to be able to walk down these halls and be surrounded with people, you know, like, you know, Corey, Brooke, and Coach B, that just empowers you, you know, because everybody thinks a little bit different. Everybody has some different, you know, different thoughts. And it's just great to see the girl power in this department and across college athletics, you know, my sisters that I can reach out to, and watching Jen and Yasi, they're just elite. I mean, they're just the best of the best. And to get, you know, to watch them off the court, off the field, and the things that they get to do, it's really exciting that, you know, Coach B and Corey are creating, you know, those opportunities for women to just be their absolute best, because now you're going to go around the country. And that's, you know, to me, what college athletics does, what's really exciting about it.
well, I do want to encourage everyone who's listening to maybe go check out the Baylor Athletics staff directory. That's something that I didn't do until I was, you know, in college and working in athletics myself. And I didn't ever realize just how many opportunities there were within an athletic department. And I mean, Dawn said it best, you know, when you walk down the hall and you just see all these women and doing a vast variety of, you know, different jobs, all with the same goal in mind, to be the team behind the team, supporting the athletic department moving forward. A little bit about myself real quick before we wrap up. Corey, you kind of mentioned my story, but I started out in high school. I was a sideline reporter. And it was a job, to be honest, I had never thought about having. I'd never thought about being a sideline reporter, but like Yasi said, someone saw potential in me to do that. And so I figured I should give it a shot. So I kind of, you know, decided that's what I was going to go to school for. And I ended up, my first job was as a news reporter. And then I switched over to be a sports anchor. And one night I had gotten off of the desk, I was anchoring a show, and there was a gentleman who had called, and I had a male co-host, and the gentleman was calling in and speaking with my male co-host. And then my co-host said, well, hey, 1 second, let me put you on speakerphone. I would like you to be able to tell that to Brooke. And the gentleman was an older gentleman who had been watching our show. It was a high school football show. And he said that he was embarrassed to say this, but he wanted, you know, he was so embarrassed, he wanted to admit it and call us. And he told me that up until listening to me talk about sports, specifically football, he thought women should just kind of, you know, stay in their lane. And, you know, there's no way they would know football because they didn't play it. And so he was just impressed that I actually knew what I was talking about. And, you know, despite being a woman, you know, he was thankful that I had fought for the position that I had, and, you know, was on his TV that night. So to me, that was something I guess I had realized people thought that way, but it never crossed my mind that me doing my job was going to impact someone like that. So that was kind of special for me. And then now getting to be here, you know, we launched the Baylor Athletics, Baylor Alumni Tailgate show for football, and I get to talk football for an hour before each home game, and you know, the podcast, and then be here to visit with you guys and just tell the stories of our student athletes, to where, you know, they get to know you guys as more than just the athletes and the stats that you have, but the people that you are and the young women that you are, and what you have to offer the world. So thank you for sharing your stories with me. Thank you for sharing your time here on this panel. But before I let you all go away, I do want to go around one more time, and with our goal being, you know, to reach young women who maybe one day aspire to be in any of our shoes. I would like to hear what advice you would give to maybe, we'll just say your 15-year-old self. So what advice would you give to your 15-year-old self? And Yossi, we'll start with you.
I would give her the advice to work on time management and to just be free and enjoy the moment and don't worry.
I love that. Jen, how about yourself?
I would say that it's obviously always okay to strive to be the best version of yourself, but if you ever stumble along the way, that's okay. Don't sweat the small mistakes, and just like Yasi said, just keep being free and just like living in the moment, and also just embrace your support system, whether that's mom, dad, grandparents, aunt, uncles, friends, a coach. Just embrace that they're just there to help you. And yeah.
Love
How about
that.
you, Coach Mulkey?
My 15-year-old self, I would say, you do not know everything, and that is okay. Because I don't know if you guys have felt this, but I knew everything when I was 15. And then when I turned 18, I was like, what an idiot I was at 15, because I clearly know everything at 18. Hit me again at 21, 25. In my mid 30s, I finally said, you need to chill out. You're never going to know everything. And if I could tell my 15-year-old self to just relax and learn and listen and absorb, my life may have been a little bit easier. So for whoever needs to hear that.
Love it. How about you, Corey? What advice would you give your 15-year-old self?
My 15-year-old self was something. So I would tell her to own your awesome. I think when I was 15, I was a little hesitant about some of the skills I had. My coach had pinpointed me as a leader, but I didn't want to walk into that because I just wanted to be part of the team. I didn't like the thought of being the person people look to. But God gives all of us skills and talents, and the earlier we are comfortable and confident walking in that, the greater opportunities we have to fulfill the purpose he has on our lives. So I would say own your awesome.
I love that. How about you, Dawn?
I would go back and tell my 15-year-old self, who was very shy and very introverted, to be bolder, to take more chances, to take advantage of the things around her, to definitely be more confident, and that she also didn't know everything along the way.
And I guess I would tell my 15-year-old self to not be afraid to go out of the ordinary. I went to college and there was no path to what I do now. I just kept telling everyone who would listen what I thought I wanted to do. And eventually, we pieced it together and got here. So I would tell my 15-year-old self to just be willing to fight for what you want, and to be vocal about it, and not worry about, saying the wrong thing or saying it to the wrong person. It doesn't have to be perfect, because you never know who knows somebody that can help you get to where you want. So that would be my advice to my 15-year-old self. But I want to thank you all again for taking the time to be here with us for this virtual lunch to celebrate National Girls and Women's in Sports Day. It's a day that needs to be celebrated, and I don't think we could have picked a better group of representatives of Baylor Athletics and the women of Baylor Athletics than you all. So thank you for taking the time to share your stories, to share your thoughts, and to just be here with us celebrating this truly wonderful day. So thank you all. Thank you to everyone who joined us. We want to wish you a very happy National Girls and Women's in Sports Day from Baylor Athletics.
Girl power.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thanks. Bye.